and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. We love a Sunday special.
Love a Sunday special. How are you?
I'm good. I'm okay. I'm I don't know.
Are you?
I'm okay. I'm like...
How are you feeling? Off the apps?
I'm off the apps. I don't know. I'm a mixed bag of emotions. Some days good. Some days bad. I'm just coming back from Boca and like talking to my parents, which is like a lot. And I like them.
Right.
You know,
you go
imagine,
there willingly.
Right. I go there and imagine like, you know,
Do you feel good when you go?
Sometimes. It's nice to like
nice to be in
sleep.
The sun.
It's nice to be, in a community. You know, they're in like a golf. I golfed a lot. You know, that's become a thing.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot.
You have clubs there?
I do.
Wow.
I'm going to Austin this weekend. I've already been there. Someone invited me to their country club. I'm going to go as a guest.
Why do men love golf so much?
I think there's a few things. The competition factor, like.
Okay.
I guess let me speak for myself. I like that I can go outside. I like that like you're doing something. You know, there's a beginning, middle, and end.
Sure.
18 holes done. A lot of guys are drinking. You can drink while you do it.
Social?
So it's social.
Okay.
It's a very social game. It's also, I mean, it's
Seems
also
like addictive, I've heard.
It's addictive. It's also, you can see male insecurity is live for you. It's a wildly insecure
men like
game.
That.
No,
you like that.
I think I just watch it and I'm like, I can't believe it. Like,
right.
You know, who's good, who's bad. I suck before you start playing. Oh, I'm bad. The other guy, I'm bad. Everyone's talking about how horrible they are. Then someone hits it well. Oh, I guess this guy's pretty good. Like, nothing is unsaid because people are so insecure about it. Okay. People cheat. They don't count right. They don't. You know, they do. My dad even said, he was like, you just watch this like it's a weird experiment.
I guess you can also play like at any age, at any build.
Right.
Like you don't have to be the fittest person.
Well, that's my dad's always telling me, he's like, it's a forever game.
Right.
You can play forever. We played and you know, golf gets this reputation as an exclusive game because it is expensive to get involved. It is very inclusive once you start, because it's exclusive because it's hard to play too. You can't just like, most people can't pick up a club and then be good. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, it just doesn't happen that way. You have to figure it out. So it's exclusive in that way. But then when you get there, there's different, you can hit from different levels. You can play in different ways that make it so more people can get involved. I've been playing at these public courses that like, they look like a YMCA. Like they're not these hoity-toity
right. But
things.
Is it more fun to play at a nicer course?
Of course. Is it more fun to stay at a nice hotel?
Right.
You know, like it's, you know, there's perks. You can feel it. But then you go to these public, I was in Cleveland. They take a lot of pride in their public courses. It costs like $16. And they got the cart woman coming around with booze and people are drinking. And it is a nice day. But
is it like, do you bond? People?
I've met many people that I've invited to shows. It's actually fun for me to do on the road because I've been in different cities.
Okay.
And you'll start talking, where are you coming from? I'll be like, New York. And they're like, what the hell are you doing here 30 minutes outside of Cleveland? Right? Why would I be there? And I'm like, well, I'm here for work. Oh, cool. And then they'll go, what do you do for work? I'm a comedian. What? You know, they freak out. You're doing shows at Hilarities, which is in Cleveland. I'll go, yeah. I go, and I'll like put tickets for them. I've had people come.
Would it be?
I give tickets to the Uber drivers. I'm like Santa Claus out here.
I'll take tickets. Would it be a perk if a woman you were dating played golf? Would you play with her?
Of course, I'd play with her. But perk.
Would it be like a plus?
Yeah, I guess. I think it would be. Nah, it wouldn't be a plus. I don't know. It's funny, if we're talking about dating, is that what we talk about?
I think so. I don't know. Sometimes.
It's funny because later in your age, it's interesting. Like when you're younger and single, you're more willing to go and do like, hey, let's go golfing. Hey, let's go bowling. Hey, let's do
mini golf. Never playing mini golf again.
Why?
I hate it.
What do you hate about it?
It's boring.
Boring.
I think it's boring.
There's a place in New York that's like this like hot thing right now. Do you know
Where
this?
is it?
It's a mini golf bar, and apparently people love it.
Mhm.
I'm sure. I mean, to me,
Have you taken someone there?
well, this is kind of what I'm talking about. I wouldn't,
Looks nice.
and maybe I'm too aware. Maybe this gets me away from like the Gen Pop. But I'm like, when I was younger, it was like, yeah, I'll do brunch after I sleep over. Yeah, I'll go mini golf. Yeah, I'll do the thing. Oh, let's go whatever down the street.
That's fun.
I'll go to Miami with the
Right,
girl.
with the girl. Take her on a trip and then
Right.
forget she existed.
Right, I forgot the Miami trip, but then now I'm like, if I do that, what does it mean? Am I being too much? Am I?
Would you do those things with someone you had no interest in seeing again?
I would do those things with someone that I was trying to figure out if I wanted to see them again.
Okay, but if you knew that you didn't, you
Right,
wouldn't
but-
do it. But you're like, I always know.
I don't know. I think as you hear from like, the Golden Bachelorette is out now, and it's like this whole thing of like, you want someone to do stuff with, and it's like it might
That's
be.
what all the old people dating say.
That's what they
yeah,
all say.
right.
And you kind of understand that because you're like, as you get older, you're like, I don't want to do stuff with people that I don't know. I don't want to go and do stuff and also act like I'm someone who wants more because we did this thing that's a little bit more important than drinks.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too in my head.
So you not playing mini golf with anyone?
I go play mini golf alone every night,
Oh.
waiting for
You're waiting for your wife to
my
play
wife
mini golf
to show
with.
up. That's right. How are
Yeah.
you? What's going on with you?
How am I? I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm hoping my house finishes on time.
Is it going to finish?
I hope so. I've got to get out of my building.
When is it supposed to finish?
Halloween.
I keep forgetting you're in like
An apartment.
an apartment again.
Yeah. I got to get
How
out
is
there.
it?
It sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks.
It's got no personality.
I've got to get out.
It's
yeah.
boring.
It's boring. It's like I miss being like owning my own thing. Like it's this is like it feels, I don't know. There's not enough space now that I've gone backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like
You went
there's
from
stuff
house
everywhere.
to apartment.
It's messy. Yeah, because
Right.
there's just not enough places to fit everything. And I just like I don't know, I don't like the vibe of the building. I'm just like ready to get out of there.
You're in a building in Long Island that is like would you say everyone's in this between state that you've come across?
I don't know. No one speaks to each other. I have no idea what anyone else
Right.
is doing.
Well,
But-
I it's different. I think when the city is, you're not in the city.
Right. So everyone there is like a weirdo. Like what other fucking loser would live on an apartment on Long Island?
I don't know. Maybe they're listening right now. Or thank you for listening.
I'm one of them.
You're
So,
one of them. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't. I would think that something has happened. Like I would go.
How did it get here?
Right.
Yeah.
I got a divorce. I wasn't expecting. I had to move out. I'm redoing my house. Like
Yeah.
why would you opt for Long Island for that type of living situation rather than New York or close to the
Right.
city? Like why, at that point go to, but if you have a work situation where you work on Long Island and
It is funny because I do feel like, I'm not the same as you people.
One of us. They're all grabbing you.
I gotta get out of here.
There's a time limit for
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I'm ready to
sure.
go. It's supposed to be like another 6 weeks or so, and I'm gonna be very excited to get back. That's why I go to my house like every other day.
You do?
Yeah, I'm just like
You just go sit outside of it?
I get excited to like move back to it. You see the progress. I don't see
Oh,
it.
so you're like
I'm going
walking
in.
the hallways with
Oh.
a construction hat on. You're the forewoman.
No construction hat. I'm just free.
Hurry up!
Yeah, raw dogging it.
Really?
No, I go in there. I'm like looking. They're probably like, get the fuck out of here.
Get out of our way,
yeah,
woman.
right. I'm doing the tour I'm seeing the tiny little things that
What are they doing? What is?
they're changing the floors now. I'm excited to get back into. It feels it's also just great to feel like it's mine.
Right.
Like I'm because when we left and when we were living there, when we lived there, it was you've seen it. It
Right.
doesn't look
it
like
belonged to someone else.
doesn't look like it belongs to us, and we put so much thought and effort and work into creating this house that like it does feel really personal.
It's great. I love
know?
it. Yeah. Well, then that's going to be exciting when you get back in there.
Yeah, and it's also kind of incredible to see people whose jobs are like real. Do you know-
Creators, right?
Right,
A
like-
real creator, not
like
an
what
Instagram
do we
creator.
do? We have meetings
Yeah.
and we sit and we talk on a podcast. Like I go back 2 days later, there's like a physical floor in place that didn't
Right.
exist before. It's like so concrete.
It is the one thing I think our generation really didn't harp enough on was the idea that like being, a craftsman.
Yeah, because
was
everything's
a-
online.
was a worthwhile venture. When we were in high school, the loud noise, you got to go to college, you got to go to college, you got to go to college, go to college.
Right.
And and then it's like, well, what about like
The arts.
the arts, plumbing,
Yeah.
contracting? These people do very well, and it was really never,
And
I'm
it's like a
speaking
real
from
skill,
my own
right? I could never
experience.
do anything that they can do.
Nothing.
Ever.
Right. And the
Build
idea
a
of how much
house?
does this cost?
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it. I agree.
And it's
I look in awe of those people.
It's funny though. I was thinking about this when I was in France and I was at the Louvre.
Ever heard of it?
Yeah, but you see all these like statues and these like this art and all these sculptures and things like that. And I'm like, I sat there and I was like, if these people were around today, would they just be fucking TikTokers? Like,
Right,
is that
who
the
would
artist
even
of
do
our
this?
generation?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think they'd be on like maybe they'd be on Etsy, but like I don't know.
Well, if you don't invest in it, if there's no clear path to having a living from it,
right.
who would be making the David?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Would Da Vinci just be just making reels
I guess so.
like an asshole?
Doing sassy. I've been calling it sassy karaoke
Yeah.
because you just see these people like doing lip syncing, like something a housewife said angrily.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like,
Yeah.
no man is gonna be in my business.
I like
and then
their-
the woman winks.
When they work well, they're like pretty funny.
I see it. I get it. Sometimes I watched one the other day. Yeah, listen, it's all fun and games.
Yeah, art is art. Anyway,
That's my new merch. Art is art.
this is this is your modern day David.
That's right.
If we do say so ourselves.
That's right. That's what we do. We put together.
Put us in a museum. Okay, let's do some.
Can you
Icky or
imagine
Pickies.
we might have kids that would listen to this
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they
20
would.
years from now? They're like, what were they talking about?
Dad did that.
Right. That's crazy.
That is weird.
Yeah. It's out there.
Maybe we'll still be doing this then.
Who knows? We're doing Icky or Picky about someone's bedpan. Let's
Icky
do an
or
Icky or
Picky?
Picky.
They die in the nursing home.
What a loser.
All right. Hi, J&J Feather. I have an Icky or Picky for you guys that happened a couple weeks ago. I, 24 female, went on.
The kids are still listening.
They are
24 female.
24.
Trusting this 39-year-old grandpa with their lives.
You've seen it all.
I really have seen it all.
You have.
Every dating scenario. I
Is
just
there
had
anything you haven't seen?
I had a conversation with someone, a fan of the podcast, and they said they met a guy because of this podcast.
How so?
They are in their 60s. They are an older
Oh, yeah?
person, yeah, and they listen every week. And I had this very nice conversation with them.
How did they meet
I'm
them?
not going to
of-
get into who I'm talking to because they told me don't put this on the podcast, but I'm doing it anyways. They were listening to the podcast, and they said they were listening to us talk about the thing that was lost in the girl's vagina.
And that's how they met their.
And I was talking about how it was the Offie Coleman. And she said she was laughing so hard that they were eating, spit up their salad from this podcast. This is an older woman, this is a woman of a certain
60s.
age, in her 60s.
Yeah.
And she said that she spit up her salad, and then a guy came over and goes, "What are you listening to?"
That's a great opening line.
Right. And he's like, "I like to laugh." And they went on 2 dates because of that.
Wow.
Isn't that great to
Are they-
hear?
That's it? Just 2 dates?
Yeah, listen, sometimes, listen, she's in her 60s. Got her out there.
Okay.
She was eating salad alone 5 minutes ago. She got two
what
dates.
What a great line. If you're laughing in who is better to approach than a person laughing in public?
Hey, what are you laughing? Right. What are you laughing at? And because she had the headphones in.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's so funny?
I love that.
Isn't that
And then you have
great?
to do this thing. 1 second.
Yeah, one
Pause.
second.
Pause.
Because you don't want to lose your place.
You're walking on the street and someone tries to talk to you and you're like,
Oh, I had a weird one the other day. A guy goes, "Excuse me," and I just kept. I don't like stopping in the street. I don't. I think that's like the craziest thing.
to
like,
stop someone in the street.
If someone's asked me direction,
There's no one
on the fly. I don't move. My feet keep moving.
Okay.
Which way's the subway? That away, and I'm still going.
Okay.
I don't like to stop. I think that's dangerous. I think that's stupid.
It's very New York of you.
Right. And it's not to be against the person. I'm not saying who.
You're on your way.
If I was an accountant, I wouldn't stop for anyone. It's a policy I have. Keep it moving. No, what do you say? Like my mom, if someone was like, "Excuse me," she would stop and then, just start going, "What's your name?" Like I'm like, "Are you an idiot? Keep it going, kid."
If you don't live in New York, I think that's a common thing is to have human decency and stop if someone's trying to talk to you.
No.
Once you live in New York,
it can only be
crazy.
bad.
Yeah.
So this guy was like, "Excuse me," and I go, "What's up?" As I'm walking, I'm not gonna stop for "excuse me."
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, and I go, "What's going on?" And he's like, "My girlfriend's a really big fan." I'm like, "Oh,
okay.
how about, hey, Jared? I know, you know what I mean? Like it was just weird the way he started it.
That's nice.
And then he was really nice.
Are they allowed to stop you if they're recognizing you?
You may.
Okay.
We took a picture together, but I felt bad because the initial it sounded like he was asking me for money.
Right. I mean, it's hard to. Here's the thing. Also, with the city, is you never know. Someone could be stopping you so they could stab you.
Right.
Do you know what time it is?
Ever heard of knife?
I mean, seriously.
All right. So
24.
So you're 24.
24 female, went on a first date with a guy from Hinge where we were supposed to have a beach picnic. Against my better judgment, I had him pick me up because the beach was a 15-minute walk through the woods from the parking lot, and I had never been there. Red flag.
There's a point in this description of where you're going on the date that's like, how about we do a FaceTime first? Or
I am not going to the beach with someone on a first date.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
And this is like,
I'm not going to be in a bikini with someone on a first date.
Also, but this goes back to what I was talking about with like going golfing and going on a first date. She's 24. She's like,
right. She's
first
down
date,
for whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Through the woods.
Of course.
Down the trail where no one can see me.
I'll share my location with you.
Right. Like, to me, there's wide-eyed, as you get older, you become safer.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Good and bad.
Yeah. And be too safe.
Sometimes too safe.
Someone said first date, they're like, let's go to the beach.
Sit on the ground with a blanket.
In your bathing suit?
They can go fuck themselves. In a bathing suit? No.
No.
We are going to a bar and maybe 2 drinks, move on to a third.
What date would you go to the beach with someone?
3 years into marriage. The beach.
I would go
with no chairs, sit on a blanket.
I would go on a 6th date with someone to the beach.
No chairs.
I guess, yeah, no chairs. I've been to like Central
My
Park.
leg falling asleep.
I've been on like a 5th date to Central Park.
Yeah, no, I'm being a hater. You're right. Yeah. Blanket dates post sex.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like bathing suit dates post sex.
Yes.
You're right.
I better see them titties before I get in my bathing suit.
As we emerge from the woods to the beach, I'm immediately greeted with a man tanning with his dick out. Welcome to the date.
Yeah.
I am in absolute shock, but as I look around, I realize that this guy isn't the only one, and this is a nude beach. That would make me feel better, actually. If he wasn't, if he was the only one, it would be much scarier than if everyone's dick was out. Don't you think?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I think when you're led through the woods to a first date by some random guy, and then a guy's like penis out, I'd be like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think either way, but I think it would be scarier if it was just one man.
Right. No, and then you see multiple. Well, I would be like, what commune did we show up to?
Why this is your special beach that you're taking me to on the
Why
first
would you
date?
do this to me?
I consider myself a pretty open-minded woman, but this really put me on edge with the fact that he was acting like this was completely normal first date location and never addressed that there were naked men and topless women everywhere. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
About halfway through, we decided to get in the water with the suit on. Yeah. And as I turn around, I see my date strutting down the beach in a Speedo. Okay, you found out he's Speedo guy.
Right.
The Speedo wouldn't have been a deal breaker for me, but
would you like to indulge? Like, do we get naked? It's an option.
Just trying to tell you his big penis.
Right.
The Speedo wouldn't have been a deal breaker for me, but the feeling of being blindsided by being brought to a nude beach for a first date and the fact that it felt like this guy was interrogating me for 2 hours made me icked out. And apparently it was clear because we mutually ghosted each other once he finally dropped me off. So what do y'all think? If a guy brings you to a nude beach for a first date and you're turned off, is that icky or picky? Love all that you do. A nude betch.
This is icky.
Yeah.
I don't want any surprise on a first date.
That's what I'm saying. I want the most basic of basic first dates. I want to go
Yeah.
on the first date and have it be just the circumstances around it be just like every other date I've been on.
Absolutely. The star is their personality.
Yes.
That's the star. And that's how you get to know if you like that star or not.
Exactly.
All
Go
this
to a bar.
all this other shit is distraction. Right. Like, to me, this guy's an asshole.
Agreed.
You've gone above and beyond to like kind of nudge me towards weird.
Right. Did you think I was going to get nude?
Right. And you're in a Speedo.
Are you trying to push like a more sexual thing on this first date?
Yeah. And we've had to come out here together and you've made
Now we have
this...
to leave together. You have to guide me back through the woods.
Right. I don't like anything about this because what it does is it puts her in a moral, like, he's like, what? You don't want to go on a date? I planned this great date. Yeah. Prude? Come on. You don't like the woods?
No.
You know,
if a
you don't
guy
like the
needs
beach?
this, it's a no.
It's
No
too
beach
much.
on the first date.
Ick.
Yes. I don't want a first date where I can't leave half an hour in if I need to.
Well, that's also like you're doing. We have to be cautious of everybody else. This never took her comfortability into the equation.
Right. I mean, I guess she said yes, so he figured she was into it. But
Right. But even to present this as an idea for a date, I'd be like, hey, and the problem is any form of like feedback on a dating app, you do feel like you're the negative one.
right.
And that's the problem that these people have you in is like you're in a like kind of a
Are you chill?
chokehold. Are you chill? Right. Like,
Are you chill or you don't want to go to the nude beach?
right. And it's like you also don't you don't owe this person anything. So like when you're like, hey, let's do a date, and they're like, great. Meet me at the woods. Like,
Meet me at the alley behind 14th Street.
right. They've put you in a position where you are now having to be like, can we not do the woods?
But even if it's like, honestly, even if it's more benign than that, even if it's meet me in my apartment, which is 45 minutes from you, like there's to make it more realistic.
Right.
Of like, now you have to say like, is it okay if we meet somewhere else?
Right. No, I totally agree with this. I saw a TikTok of a woman who does some dating commentary herself. And it was like making fun of guys who are like, okay, great. What area of the city works for you?
That's the best kind of guy.
And it's like, right. And how basic it was. Like the nature of the TikTok was like, every guy's like, what part of the city works for you? I could do 6 or 7. It was like basically a normal
conversation.
Guy. Right. And I looked at this and I was
it's like basic manners, all of that.
Right. And it was like
green flag.
Right. And I was like, the relatability that they were going for with this kind of like hating on basic. It's like, what else? What kind of conversation do you want to make this date? You know what I mean? Like, if not this, what? And this
to
is
me, that's all extremely considerate.
right. This is the
Flexible.
point. So when I saw this TikTok, I was like, ugh, you kind of have this like.
Well, you're like, it makes it feel like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like
Totally.
if I'm a considerate person who's being flexible and trying to accommodate the other person, I'm a loser, basic loser.
Right.
And if I'm woods guy, I'm
Right.
like creepy weirdo.
Dates are meant to be basic.
Yes, first date especially.
Basic with chance for extraordinary.
Yes.
That is how every date should be planned. Basic with chance for love and great and the best date you've ever had. It's probably going to be basic. That's okay.
the forecast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Want to do an email?
Let's do it. Let's try it. Let's see if we should ruin their life.
Let's ruin their
Let's
life.
hear it.
Yeah, this is a good topic. Ready? I love
for-
when we have power put in our hands. Ready for this email title?
Let's do it.
Should I end my engagement?
So I'm saying, should we ruin this person's life or not?
I
Let's
think
see.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Feel the power of owning this person's decision making.
Children could be born whether or not
Because of us.
we say this. The wind goes.
Can you imagine 20 years from now, some kid shows up at your doorstep? Jordana, my life has been horrible because you told my parents to stay
get married."
together.
Blood on my hands.
Right. Feather. But writing in with an unfortunate issue, I, 29 male, felt I truly loved. I think the decision's been made.
Yeah, I mean,
My fiance, 32, female, but have been feeling frustrated over the course of our relationship. While processing how things have got here, it's unfair to blame her for things, but certain issues have truly hurt me. Something I had a hard time expressing them in those moments because I felt her emotions and feelings were more important than mine.
all right, Martyr.
This guy's really set us up.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen,
this is a twist, I think.
Right. I listen.
A spin, rather.
I'm with you. It sounds like he's really trying to butter us up.
I mean, I just don't like the like self-aggrandizing nature of
Right.
I could have done this, but I was too caring about her. The issue in the relationship is that I cared too much about her feelings.
I'm too much of a people pleaser.
Right. Like if a woman on a date was telling you about her last breakup and she was like, I just cared too much about his feelings.
I would be like, well, you don't know yourself. Like I think you're a little maybe have you fixed that?
Right.
Would be,
or
like,
was that what he would say?
Right. Well, this goes back and they're farting in the room. To reference our last
really
episode, that reference.
Come on the show.
Oversharing.
We need to hear it.
I need to hear
firsthand.
Okay. So here's the story. Other than the butter up, he took out the butter knife and he tried to slather us.
Mm-hmm.
We are unslathered.
We'll be the judge of how important you thought her feelings were.
You assholes about to ruin an engagement. We moved into our apartment after unsuccessfully trying to buy a house 3 months ago. A month ago, I told her I'm not sure we are compatible long term after she said she would never willingly hang out with my friends, and to a lesser extent, my family. This happened after I invited a married couple over to our apartment for a Saturday. I did not ask her permission/opinion, but the plan was made 2 weeks in advance, so that felt like sufficient time to really voice any of these deep-rooted concerns and cancel in between. The fight happened 2 days before they were to come after an emotional explosion from her.
All right, let's back up for a second.
Sure.
You invited someone to the apartment, so he made plans on their behalf without asking her.
Sure.
That's kind of annoying.
Kind of annoying.
I'd be a little annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't know. He says emotional explosion. That seems like a lot. I don't know. Again, this is his version.
I could understand being annoyed, but also 2 weeks. Hey, what's the plan?
Right. But also you're kind of putting that person in the position of then being
they have to cancel
the shitty party pooper.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
you're making that person become the bad guy. I do think that's like, I'll make all these plans and then I'll just cancel them with everyone if you don't want it, as opposed to asking me before you even make them.
Right. And if your goal is, hey, I want you to like be more involved with my life, it has to start with doing that with them.
Right.
Hey, what do you think about inviting my 2 friends over so you can get to know them better?
Yeah.
It's different than my friends are coming over. Do you care?
It's almost like a test.
Right.
In that
it's
way.
a little testy. Right.
I think it's annoying. I would be annoyed too. Even if I liked the people, I think I want to be asked for all plans. I want all plans to be something that I have input on.
Right. And are we making plans together or are we working apart? Like, it's just, it's weird to say plans have been made. What do you think?
Right.
But, okay.
I agree.
Most of our arguments seem to revolve around her sharp and intense reactions/emotions to various circumstances. While I feel my feelings are suppressed because I'm not as emotional as her. Social anxiety mixed with my friends and family. We cannot compromise on a wedding. Me, more traditional. Her eloping/small. Her personal emotions around money and not trusting anyone with it, among other things. During these arguments, I calmly try to understand her, but do not express how important some of these things are because seeing her cry more feels worse to me. After these arguments, I feel I am the only one who tries to reconcile and console, and I've mentioned how therapy could help us, and many times the therapy comments were met with hard no's, and she revealed recently she did not take my thoughts and suggestions seriously. After saying I can't do this, all cards on how to problem solve are now on the table seemingly. After 1.5 years of this, and then hearing my thoughts/suggestions aren't taken seriously in our relationship, has left me questioning if this is worth it. I seriously question if I can regain the love I once felt and live happily ever after with her. I'm not without fault and need to be more assertive / less people pleasing. There it is, among other things. But pondering this pondering this. I just feel maybe we're not compatible. Can you provide any insight on my situation?
Well, it's hard to provide serious insight on the situation without getting her side of the story.
Right.
Because his side, again, is like, even though this is almost kind of like the most annoying way to present some things, because he's like trying to say that he's has his own faults, but his own faults are like clearly good things.
Right.
You know,
Things anyone would want in a partner.
Right. You're too concerned with someone else's emotions. You hate to see her cry.
I'm the one who wants to go to therapy.
Right.
She does. Hard no from her.
Yeah, he's painting her to be kind of a monster.
Right.
Which maybe she is. I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. I don't know her. If I had to guess, this isn't all her fault, but I don't think you should get married as it is now.
Yeah. This email is right. This email is a magic spell. He is writing a spell to get us to agree with him that he should end it with this monster.
Right.
And here's two people telling you, we've heard your story. Your story doesn't fucking matter. The only thing that matters is you're not in love with her anymore. That's okay. You know, this idea that you need permission to break up with someone. You can break up for any reason you want, no matter how frivolous, at any point. No one is holding a gun to your head. Hey, you must marry this person. It's going to hurt. We're not going to tell you that. You know, I think what he's doing is he's trying to like get us to go, you should hurt less, or this other person will hurt less because they'll listen to this podcast. Right.
Right.
There's no deserving, especially in this like where no one's done anything wrong. Like you haven't done anything wrong, and now the only thing you're doing wrong is like kind of painting her as this like, you know, this person who's not human.
Right. Who hates your friends and family, explodes all the time. Like, you just keep giving and she just keeps saying no.
He's not alone. This idea that I need the world to agree that I'm a good person and it ended because they are a bad person.
Right. And so there's like moral high ground in ending something because no one wants to be the bad guy. And I get that.
Right.
The person who doesn't end the engagement is always going to get more sympathy.
Right. And he's trying to work against that in this. And I think this is happening more now because we all do have public platforms. We all have platforms. You know, why did it end? Everyone wants to know what happened.
And especially with an engagement that's like a very public.
Right. It goes on Instagram. It goes on, you know, your pictures to your friends and family. What happened? He's trying to get his story straight via us. I feel we're being used. Because he's ended it. I loved her.
Yeah, he already knows what he wants to do.
Right?
Own it. Yeah. No, I think that it is a little bit of a manipulative email.
Oh yeah, and it's like I'm not. Listen,
you want to end it, but don't pretend that you're a saint, which you're not. Don't pretend she's a monster, which she's not. You're both fine, probably.
Right. I don't love you anymore. I'm out. I want a relationship where my friends and family or someone is making that type of effort in the way I want it made.
I don't think we're compatible.
Right. I'm not feeling it right now.
I'm sorry I proposed. Perhaps I did that without fully understanding like where the two of us were.
Right. What are we going to do about the ring? You tell me. My advice to this guy, get out. I think this happens a lot, and it's what frustrates me about like the breakup process is this idea that we have to figure out who's the good guy and the bad guy, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get ahead of it.
Right. Well, it's kind of like anything that it's very, very rare to have a mutual breakup, a mutual firing, a mutual quitting. Like it's just anytime there's an end to something, there's a human instinct to assign a blame. And sometimes that's why the Gwyneth Paltrow conscious uncoupling was everyone was making fun of.
What was that?
It was when she got divorced from Chris Martin, and they basically released a statement that was like, she didn't call it divorce, she called it a conscious uncoupling, which was basically saying like, we were together and it was great for this period of our lives, and then now we're consciously deciding to do something different, and it just had no blame on anyone. It was like it made it seem almost like it was like a Zen, like we're both just moving on. Like almost as a way to like make it a non-contentious, I don't know.
Well,
like,
I guess no questions asked. They want to say, don't ask us about us because we've both decided.
And like they're saying, it's like a natural evolution of their relationship. Like it used to be,
Right.
We used to be good together, and now we're deciding to consciously go our separate ways.
Right. And that's just not how it works. It's
very rare.
very rare. And for this guy, the only thing you can do that's really mean at this point is to keep going in it while telling everyone how you're trying and they're not.
Yeah.
Because now you're just trying to get people on your side.
Yeah. All you can do is do what you want to do, which is end the engagement, and then just try to be as respectful as you possibly can,
Right.
and not get pulled into anything petty.
And speak for yourself.
Yes.
Hey, I. And,
And how she reacts is how she reacts.
Right. How you're writing this right now is a lot of you. It would be, I was in love. I'm feeling that this isn't the match for me. I don't know what to do. And like, pay any amount of
This
money to
isn't
get
working
this
for
done as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
That would be my thing. That was told to me.
Pay any amount of money.
Pay, moving, whatever it is, agree. There's no amount of money that's
enraging.
Why? There's no amount of money that's
like,
in the way of your
You want to get away from me
happiness.
so badly that you're willing to pay.
Yeah. If I was in a breakup, I would pay any amount of dollars. What if we could go break up for people? I think we would make good money.
Yeah. No, it's true. Maybe
Like,
that's our show. Yeah.
That's a show. Hey, if this guy
Break up
came
for
to us,
hire.
hey, this is the situation, and was honest instead of manipulative like he's being right now,
Yeah.
I could go to this woman and be like, hey, it ain't working. Chris is out.
And he's gone by now. Sorry.
Sorry.
But he's left you $10,000
Here's
to
10
find
grand.
your own apartment.
Right.
And for any deposits you paid towards the wedding.
He's given you the ring. Yours. The bedroom set. All yours. You chose it anyways.
The lamp, his mom says he's got to keep that.
That's
Sorry.
all we're taking. Otherwise, here's a tissue box and a new Hinge profile.
There we go.
There we go. Well, we solved dating again.
We did it. We'll be back next week.
Boom.
The U Up podcast is produced by Belle Roman and Candice Maniga. Edited by Belle Roman. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. VP of podcast is Chris Allen. And be sure to follow You Up at u.up.podcast.